Hey, so how you doing, man? JD, it's another Fan Friday. I'm happy to bring you on. I wanted to bring you on because, man, I see you everywhere. You're one of the most, the figure, the face, the helmet, WM garbage man. I always see that, and I want to bring you on and ask you about, why are you such a, big fan of the Canes football? And it's just not football either, actually. We see you supporting men's basketball, women's basketball. We see you everywhere. And that's
Volleyball.
it's a bit, yeah, volleyball. It's not many fans support everything like that, how you do. Your face is always there. So I wanted to bring you on and just talk about all that. But first, let me ask you, about your upbringing and what brought you to the point into Canes football. What introduced you to it?
Yeah, so back in the late 90s, I would say mid 90s, there was a family who just didn't know what to do with their tickets. And they kind of give it to us and say, "Hey, you guys want to go to a Miami Hurricanes games?" I'm like, "Okay, well, actually the actual stadium, I was a teenager at that time and told my girlfriend, who's not my wife, hey, you know, this neighbor giving us some tickets, man. Let's go check it out." And the rest is history, man. That was the time of the OB. And that was actually my first game with those tickets at that time. And I wanted to uh, just check it out. And when I get there, the struggle to even park. And we finally parked, but it was a grit thing. After we park, we start walking through the neighborhood of all the tailgates in different houses, and the way we were received, like people we don't know. Remember, it's my first game. I don't know a lot of people, but they were inviting us, like, "Hey, you want to hang out there? You want to try this? You want to try this drink? You want to try this food? You want to?" I'm like, "Man, I've never seen anything like that." I wanted to be part of it. And I asked again for some tickets, couldn't get it because it was a big game the next game. And I'm like, "Man, I have to be part of this." So from that point on, we got our own tickets, and it's been on since. We travel with the team. We home games. Never really miss a home game. Unless it's necessary. Move to the Hard Rock, same story. So now we have an opportunity to give back, have our own tailgates, and give back to the community, do the same thing.
Man,
That's what
that's awesome.
started, man.
So all it took was just one game.
One game, and that's why I continue to do this, man. Invite people to the game, invite people to become to experience um the youth thing. It's not, we upset when people say you nation. You know, we'd rather be called and be seen as you family. It's a whole different thing when people are nation and you're a family. Yeah, we're big, but we over all the continents, we everywhere, but it's a huge family. Uh, if you travel to games, the atmosphere you see at a tailgate, a hurricane tailgate, and what you see anywhere else, it's totally different. We always have this joke. We said, other team and other places, they have picnics. People sit down and have a little sandwiches. Uh, maybe the car and the radio playing. We have DJs, we have grills, we have frying pans, we uh, you name it. We have three courses meal before you even get to that actual game, and inviting people to, hey, try this, try that. People you probably don't even know. So that's what family do. And so we're the family. And that's how we build fandom. That's how we build new people coming in. It's a different vibe than going to any other team or any other places. And I stand by that.
No, that is awesome. I actually love that. It's not you nation, it's you family. And, you know,
Family.
the players, we see that too. obviously I was there for a while and we saw
Yeah.
how close and tight knit everybody was and how inviting y'all were to everyone. You know,
Yes.
friends and families, they would come to games and they would walk past the tailgates and they said everyone just inviting them in, oh
Right,
no, try this.
man.
Oh, hey, it's fine. Like come in, you want something to eat, just anything like that. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
What I wanted to ask you again, because there's some people that are just, strictly Canes football, but
Right.
what brought you to all of the different sports?
Right. So, just like and you're gonna hear that word family a lot. So we do all the different sports because if you're supporting that it's still part of that family. You got the brothers, you got the cousins, you got the sisters, you got all of that. And once the story I told you about that football game, it was at the right time. It's also at the time where we had like a solid a basketball team, not playing at the White, but playing in the Miami Arena then. And we got Tim James at that time. Tim James was one of the guy who, played in the NBA and things like that. So it was the right time to, hey man, maybe let me check out what the basketball team had to offer. So we've been a basketball fan since. And the woman team, Coach Meyer coming in and the way she embraced us, like, my kids were like small when we start going to the women basketball, and she always make time to talk to my kids, and we start going to the women basketball. And it was funny one time we were sitting at a football game, and then Cam, uh, the girl who played for, she's an announcer now for
Yes. Hmm.
right. So Cam came and said, "Hey man, when are you gonna support us?" I didn't even know she was part of. I didn't know her then. She wasn't doing the DJing thing for the kids. She's like, "Hey guys, when you gonna start supporting volleyball?" I'm like, "Oh really? I don't even know where to play." So she gave us the information. Start going to volleyball then, and you know, rest is history. Like I said, it's all part of the family. We support the Hall of Fame. We support, anything that have the hurricane on it. We support it. We started the tailgate for basketball, and first group will have a tailgate for every basketball game. And we start building a fandom there. People start coming in before the basketball game, and every section we see that the basketball game sell out. It's
Hmm.
our section stay live, and that's what fans supposed to do.
Man, that is awesome, because again, I mean, just to repeat myself, a lot of people, they don't realize a lot of fans just stick to their sport. That's it.
Right, right.
So it's very, very rare to see a group of people and especially that just go to every single sporting event.
Yes.
It's very rare. And that's, I mean, amazing. Downright
It's the
amazing.
support, and that's how you got to create more people to come around, and um a lot of time, just like I said, somebody did it for me, give me the experience to experience a game and then keep going. And that's what we hope to do. Hey, we touch basketball. We're gonna put more fin in the seat. We touch volleyball. We touch women basketball. We touch baseball. We're gonna hope our presence bring more people to the seats, and more people to the seat as a player. You know that you get a competitive advantage when you get the fans behind you, and
Uh-huh.
that's what we hope to accomplish.
Man, that is no, that is awesome. That is a great goal. And I know all the athletes there, they truly appreciate that. What I wanted to ask you is something personal towards you is
Yeah.
you represent the WM, like you go by WM Garbage Man, like on Twitter, and you represent that like so hard. What is
Yeah.
that? Why is that? Most people just, their name, like your name JD or
Yeah.
something. Why do you represent that so hard?
So back when I started in this garbage business, um, and I realized a lot of people, even if they were making tons of money doing this job, it's not a job. They were like proud telling people, hey, this is what I do. People were telling the positions they hold at the company versus, I'm a garbage man. It's almost like people didn't want people to know they're garbage man. And my goal was to always change that, always change the mindset. Hey, you're a garbage man. Uh, just be proud of it. That's what feed your family. That's what allow you to go to all these Hurricanes games. So you got to be proud of being a garbage man. So at that time, social media was just starting up like the way it is right now. You probably don't know this, but we had what we call and it wasn't Facebook, it was
MySpace?
MySpace.
I remember MySpace. I'm actually old enough to know about MySpace. I had an account. The music in the background and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh. I
all
had
these
an
were
account.
original, man. That was
Uh-huh.
MySpace, and we used MySpace, and all the name we started there was the Garbage Man, and working for waste management, and I always put the WM Garbage Man, and I make sure that's available on all social media, and I try to get that first before somebody get it,
Yeah.
and I become the WM Garbage Man. I never work on a truck. I never pick up any garbage. I always hold management position, but I wanted to present that job who give you a pretty nice living. I wanted people to be proud of it, so I always promote the being a garbage man. It's not. I'm what they call a district manager. So I run a whole county.
Yeah.
But I never tell people what I do besides telling them I'm a garbage
Yeah. Well, I love that.
man.
I love that. That's something that's awesome to be proud, of that
Oh,
and
absolutely.
represent it in a good way. The last question I had for you is,
Hmm.
what would you define a true fan as?
Uh, See, a lot of people they have different way they see a true fan. Um, I got a couple things to me that define a true fan. So a true fan, number one, you have to represent your team well. Um, Represent your team well. It goes by the way you act, the way you treat other fans.
Hmm.
You don't want other fans to, by the way you act, say, "Oh man, I hate this team because of this person, this dude right here." You gotta represent. It's almost like your family. You're the face of the family. If I see this person, I like this team. I want to be a fan like this guy. So that's the number one thing. Because remember now, the game play on the field, you know, we can give you a hard time, we can scream, we can do all this time, but respectfully. So that's the number one thing. And I don't think somebody who goes to all the games define you as the number one fan, only because your financial situation may be not somebody else's financial situation. I know a lot of people who support the teams in front of their TVs because they either can't financially or maybe they're dealing with some health situation. They can't be attending games. So they doesn't mean they're not a fan. They just fandom different. And um last thing I have, if you're a fan, a real fan, you got to make your presence felt. And when I say your presence felt, it just not mean in the arena. Um, your neighbor should know your team is playing, either by the way you're screaming at the house, or the flags you have hanging up in your house, or the flag you have hanging up. That's a great fan. Um, if you happen to be able to be at the stadium, being a fan, you have to be able to scream so hard you give your team an advantage. people got to be afraid to play at your home court because the way you holding up, you're screaming, and especially when you're on defense, you got to be that man who help the other team not score on you. So, and that could be happening in the stadium. And again, like I said, there are people who can't afford to go to the stadium. Your neighbors just need to know, hey man, this guy team is playing again today. You got to represent the team. So that's to me, that's what a real fan is. And last but not least, man, get people in the seats. Get people in the seats if you can. You know, you have tickets, you can't go, send somebody. Um, you have people who show up to the game, receive them, make them feel like they're home. I have parents who travel, you know, because the kids playing here in Miami, but they may be from the West Coast. You know, these people, they don't have any coolers, they don't have any transportation, they don't have any of these things. When they show up to the games, man, make them feel like, oh man, do you want a water? You want a beer? You want some food? This is what a fan do. You support your brothers and sisters and create a competitive advantage and make sure people your team wins.
100%. I loved every single bit of that. That was amazing. Well, look, I just wanted to get you on. I wanted to hear your story, wanted to hear some things about you and
Appreciate that, man.
your thoughts on that. I loved every single bit of it, and I thank you for coming on. I thank you
I
for your
appreciate
time,
that, man.
and I thank you for being one of the biggest fans, at the University of Miami.
Oh, we're gonna continue to do, man. Hey, beat Ball State.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.